What's going on, guys? I got this Huracan 7-speed DCT here. It's out of the red car that you saw us break record late last year. You know, it had the Datsun 2-piece second gear, the awesome billet second gear that Datsun makes, had a Datsun clutch, a wave track LSD. So what we've gone ahead and done, we had a little bit of extra time, so we pulled it completely apart and we went ahead and did a full Datsun Motorsport gear set in there. So now it's got 1st through 7th, and reverse gets modified also, and it's also got the ring and pinion now with that wave track LSD. You know, it's got the Datsun axle flanges and everything. So this thing should be able to take everything we throw at it now, and we should not have any issues whatsoever with this transmission. This is the first one I built personally, so that was a mission, and it was cool, and I'm excited to build more of these. Car leaves to Texas 2K. Let's see if we can bust a mission, get this thing together, and get it on a trailer so we can go beat the shit out of this thing and break more records.
Oh, hey, didn't see you guys there.
Today we're going to discuss our Lamborghini Aventador race exhaust system. The reason we're doing this is because there's a lot of people out there claiming that they know how the system works or how our system's designed, and that it's affecting cars in a negative way, which is completely false. And we're going to go as in-depth as I can and try to discuss why we do it this way, why it's built this way, and why it doesn't have a bad effect on the car and actually helps it. Here we have an SVJ rear muffler. As you guys can see, this thing is a gigantic suitcase. It's extremely heavy. It's a chambered system when the valves are closed, so there's a lot of channels in there that it passes through. And then when the valves are open, it obviously goes straight out. This is our rear section that we make, and it's got our long X design, which everybody thinks that's the only way that you get the sound out of the system, which is completely false. And also the only way that you get the power out of the system, which is also completely false. See, when you're doing an Aventador, it's a big engine, but it's a very high revving motor. And these cars lack a lot of bottom end power, especially when a lot of people take these exhaust systems out and they replace them with race pipes and rear sections. The biggest mistake people make on these cars is actually going way too large on the piping. You can't go large on this car's piping. And the reason to that is because when you're taking all the factory stuff out of it, which is the rear suitcase that you see here, and these pipes you see here with the big filters in them, the problem is the second you pull this out, these big filters right here cause the car to have the back pressure that it needs. The second these are gone, you lose all that back pressure. So when you lose all that back pressure, you lose all the bottom end power and the mid-range power, which does not help the car at all. So what we've done is we've developed and we've spent a lot of time trying to figure out what's the best solution, what's the best sizing for the piping that we use on these systems. When you get rid of these filters over here, you need to make sure your piping is correct. So what we do is make our system, where you can see here right now, it's fully Inconel wrapped. This is not some foil wrap that comes with a lot of the downpipes and stuff that you guys buy from China. This is real Inconel that's used on airplanes for military use. The company that we actually use to do this for us is a company that's contracted by the military and by Boeing. And this stuff works amazing. Every single one of our test pipes get these put on there. It also helps with keeping the heat in, which helps with power. Also helps with not letting the heat out towards other parts of the car, like sensors and other stuff that could have big effects on the car and cause issues if they get too hot. So a lot of people ask why our system is so squiggly, or so many bends and so many different loops that go into this system. The reason to this is we've gone above and beyond to measure how long the actual travel is in each header and each collector. If you really look at this car, it has 4 banks. So it has bank 1, which has 3 cylinders, it has bank 2, which has 3 cylinders, and then it has bank 3 and bank 4, another 3 cylinders on each side. Obviously, when you really look at an engine, it's bank 1 and bank 2, but it's separated on an Aventador. That's how we look at it. So what we've done is we've taken the factory exhaust manifolds, pulled them out, measured out how much volume they take, what's the difference in length. And what we do here is we actually make a true equal length system. This is why it takes so long to build our system. This is why we spent so much time calculating how long each pipe needs to be, why we take so many loops. There is ways to make this close to equal length, but nothing on the market is as close to equal length as ours. Another thing we do, the way we size it, we use a sizing that we see fit to make the back pressure stay up on the car. Because when we put these, and these are gone right here, I can't name a lot of these stuff, so I'm trying to keep it as educational as possible, but without using some words that I don't really want to be using. All the lengths for our test pipes are all measured, all the volume is measured, so we could get a true equal length system. Another thing we use is a merge collector. A lot of these systems don't use a merge collector. When people build these test pipes, they just take a 3-inch tube or whatever tube they decide to use in the back end, and they just take 2 pipes and they just dump it into there. There is no way that is ever gonna flow anywhere close to a merge collector is. A merge collector is designed to have high velocity and to help with scavenging. So it helps you make better torque and better power throughout the whole power band. This is the reason we use this. A lot of people look at this and say, oh, you got 2 pipes that are, let's say, 2.5 inch going down into a smaller pipe. This all helps with flow. So what you see here is 2 smaller pipes going into one section that will straighten out the flow and get the exhaust pulses to work not against each other, but together to make the flow a lot better and create horsepower for the car. That's why we use this. A lot of people look at this, they look inside and they're like, it's choking up the car. This is not choking up the car. This cannot choke up the car. This is the same exact merge collector we use on my personal SVJ, which is twin turboed and is making about 1100 wheel horsepower right now. Everybody does stuff differently. Everybody has their own opinions on stuff. This is our opinion. This is what we've tested. This is what we know that works. This is what gives this car the torque and the power, and it doesn't lose the bottom end. It actually makes the power band a lot stronger on the bottom, a lot more responsive. You don't have that feeling where you're losing that torque and you don't have the snappiness of the car. This is what keeps you to make the car flow good, drive good, and feel strong and not lazy. We've taken a lot of time testing all this stuff, and you know, to be honest with you, we made, I think, over 7 different systems before we decided what we were gonna go with. We make these systems in stainless steel. We also make them in titanium. The stainless steel ones weigh about, I think, 28 pounds lighter than the factory full system. Our titanium system actually weighs 58 pounds less than the factory system. Losing 58 pounds on a car like this is not a joke. I mean, people pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for special edition ones to lose that kind of weight. So this is our system. It performs great. It makes great power. The sound, as everybody knows, is amazing. We just wanted to let you guys see it in depth and try to let me give you guys a little bit of an explanation of how everything works and why we do it this way. Just keep it in mind, this little thing right here and these guys right here are flowing about 1100 wheel horsepower on SVJ right now, and that's nowhere close to where we're stopping. So we're gonna keep going and we're gonna push that thing to 2500 horsepower, and I'll show you guys that'll still be breathing through these pipes. That's pretty much it for today. We'll be doing more stuff like this, explaining our products on other cars, our twin turbo kits, our intercoolers, and so on. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I was good enough, and that's it. Subscribe to our channel, check out our stuff. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up.
I want to go get some food.
Hey, what's up guys? Today we're trying to get the Ferrari F12 DDE twin turbo unicorn, whatever the hell they call it, out of the shop. So we got the fuel system that we made for this car. Last time we had it on the dyno and we were trying to get it ready for them and get it out of here. We obviously didn't have enough time to take the car apart and do some fuel modifications. Obviously the car is making a lot more power now than it was, you know, from factory. So the fuel system can't keep up with the power. We had a bunch of pressure drop from the fuel system. So what we did is we took out the factory baskets and the factory units out of the car. And what I wanted to do is try to build everything to go back into factory location with just bigger fuel pumps. So what we did is we got 2 Walbro Hellcat pumps, which are good for about 700 horsepower to the wheel each on E85. This car won't be using E85, it'll be on regular just race gas, so it won't need the volume that you would actually need for running E85. So these pumps should be good for about 1400 wheel horsepower. What we did is we kept everything in the factory location. I didn't want to run a surge tank in this car and have it in the back sitting in the trunk. You know, they're going to be driving on the street and so on. I know some people don't care, and that's the easier way out, because you could just leave the factory stuff in there and just run a line to the surge tank and then send it from a surge tank to the high pressure fuel pumps. But I just wanted to go above and beyond and do something that I think is much nicer and works a lot better. So we took the baskets out, as you guys can see here. Everything still clips in just into factory location. It still gets shared the same way the factory does. So what we did is we just took the top hat, removed it, got rid of the factory pump, remachined, CNC machined the billet top hat for it to carry the Walbro higher flowing fuel pumps, and built this whole little thing, got the lines redone, everything clips back into factory location. So these pumps are basically ready to go. We just put a Datsun clutch in the car. The guys put the rear end up. We got the turbo sent back to us from Precision because we know DDE needs the car back to make some videos and stuff, and it was gonna take some time to get the bigger turbos back. So what we're trying to do is just get this car together, get it moving again, get it back on the road so these guys could go out there and do their, you know, videos and stuff that you guys all love. So we'll be putting these in the next hour, starting up the car, and hopefully the clutch and everything works out well and we get the car moving, get it on the dyno, do a couple tweaks, and give it back to the guys tomorrow.
All right, what's up guys? We're finishing up DDE's F12 today. So the past couple weeks we've been designing and drawing and CNCing and, you know, just trying to get these fuel pumps set. So basically when we had the car on the dyno last time, we were running out of fueling. Even on 110 octane, it was just not enough fuel pump for, you know, what the car was drawing fuel wise. And that was causing us to lean out on the top end, so we had to pull a little bit of power out of it. So now we've designed the bigger fuel pumps. We put them in, you know, we set them up using the factory basket and the factory top hat with the factory filter and everything. So we should have no issues there. That went smoothly. We put a new clutch in from Datsun, and we're hoping that's what the fix was, and it's not similar to the Huracan where the stator spins. So we'll put the car down, test drive it. We're changing out the front right shock that was messed up by a previous shop, and that should solve the rest of our issues with this car. So we can hopefully fix our canvas issue today, our fueling issue today, and our transmission issue all today, so that they can pick up the car and finally start making videos for you guys.
We're replacing the front right strut on the DDE F12, and basically had a malfunction on the computer saying that the shock was bad, or like one of the malfunction codes. So this is the shock that's bad, so we're replacing it. And yeah, we're just gonna slap it back together. I gotta pull it out first. We're gonna put the new one back in and then slap it back together. Should be good.
So on the F12, we've gone ahead, we got the new fuel pumps in. Today, we just went through everything, you know, verified there was no internal leaks within the tank, bled the cooling system, verified that the car went, you know, in gear, engaged the clutch and all that stuff. Did whatever clutch learning process that we had to do. And now we're just closing up the interior. The guys are on their way to come pick up the car, so they should be here in a bit. We're really excited that the car is finally like actually put together, you know, with the proper fueling, proper turbo sizing, and proper clutch to take all the power that we need to. So it looks like we're getting to the end of the supporting mods on this car, and it should be ready to just keep roasting. No, we ran out. Yeah, that's so much more fuel than before.
inside the grind, I found me a sound. Don't care if it's war, we fucking on bitches, I'm throwing them down. If she a hustler, fine and honest, I'm bringing around. I told her I don't care what she do in the street, just don't let me look like a clown. Beat out, that is my play money, whole M stacks and PayPal. Caught her out hanging at a barbecue and fucking around and shot the whole playground. Eastside nigga about
done with this shit, bro.
Dino is freaking me the fuck out, bro.
That motor is done, and it's on its way. And we don't need anything else. We got the clutch, we got the motor. Build a turbo.
Awesome. 'Cause we didn't have to pull the car back because of fuel pressure or anything, so the car just seems a lot happier in general. A lot better than the last time it was on the dyno, so fucking they're here now. They can pick up the car and go out ripping.